Hi everyone, in my last video I finally made a start on talking about autism, not just ADHD, and I was just trying to sum up exactly what autism is. However, I also got a comment on that video. Now I was going to talk about something else in this video that I'd finally decided on late last night, but when I read the comment I was like, maybe it's a good thing to address, just because I think whoever sent the comment was a little bit confused by something I might have mentioned in the previous video, and I just want to address that. Now, to be honest, I might be completely misunderstanding their message, just because unless something is very clearly worded, and I mean like adding in words like as, if, to, the, right, all little words, not just leaving them out or abbreviating things, like especially in messages and stuff, I can often misunderstand what's being asked of me or said to me. Just because it's another part of autism, actually, that clear instructions and explanations are pretty much essential, you know, because otherwise you can actually, well, like I said, you can actually kind of, not get the wrong end of the stick, but misunderstand what's being said. So, now point is, the gist of the message was mentioning that autism can be reversed and they have an infant, and they said they act autistic because of too much TV and socializing. And I just want to address that, because what I hear from that, got from that message, is that they think I mentioned in my previous video that autism can be reversed, and I just want to say straight away, no, it cannot be, and I'll explain why in a second. And then they think their infant is acting autistically, perhaps because of TV and lack of socializing. So I just want to address that. Now, if you like the content, you want to see more, please follow, like, leave a comment, questions, requests in the comments, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and repost the video. And, well, let's get into it then. So, like I said, first off, no, autism cannot be reversed. All I can think of, and if I remember correctly in my previous video, is when I was talking about the severity of autism, that it presents differently in some people more obviously and in other people less obviously, which is why it can be kind of a difficult thing to notice or diagnose, depending on, again, the severity on the spectrum. Yeah, despite that, I was referring to the idea that basically when you have autism, I think I made a mention of saying vice versa, or it can be reversed. But I don't mean it can be reversed as in disorder. I meant, like, it's different. It presents differently in every individual. No two people with autism are exactly the same. Okay? So it's, again, part of the reason why it's hard to recognize and hard to diagnose sometimes. So, and there are lots of times that I've heard of people who assume they have ADHD or autism based on similar behaviors they have with people who do have it, and then kind of self-diagnose. And I highly recommend that you don't self-diagnose, because anxieties, depression, like I said, taking things too literally, that kind of stuff, hyperactivity, lack of attention, in ADHD or autism, right, can be in any individual. The difference is that ADHD and autism are part of how the brain functions specifically. The brain is hardwired differently to someone who's neurotypical. And if you have something similar, like similar symptoms to someone with ADHD or autism, but you're not autistic or ADHD as far as you know, then it might just be something down to your personality, probably from your upbringing, your experiences, anything. So, yeah, so it's always good that if you think you have ADHD or autism, right, then to go through the proper process of getting diagnosed. Don't self-diagnose, because you don't actually know. Because again, it's to do with your brain. You don't see what's going on in your brain, but there are doctors and such who are trained to recognize it and diagnose it, and that's the important thing, because then they can help you put things in place if you need any help or support and so on and so forth. Right. As far as infants go, now with autism, the behaviors of autism, the recognizable behaviors, can start showing themselves as early as the age of 2. Okay? So it's like beforehand, babies and toddlers pretty much all act very similarly. Yeah? Very, very, well, like one another, right? There's hardly any difference between them a lot of the time. But then once you reach age 2, that's the part where your neurological development is starting to sort of create the building blocks of what will make you a person. And what by that I mean like your personality, your interests, so on and so forth. That's where it roughly starts. So, and how you interact with the world and such. So that's why it's round about there, because autism is a developmental disorder and disability. That's why it's as early as that age that you start to notice the difference. So, for instance, when you're an infant, you may start to walk and talk and such. And if you have a severe form of autism, your speech might be off. Your movements might be unusual for someone of your age. If you don't have that severe autism, it may take a little bit longer for it to be recognized in you, because people might just go, too much TV, too much socializing. And I have heard that there are these theories that float around from time to time, that autism is something that can be caused by things like too much TV and lack of socializing. But that's not true. Autism isn't something that comes about later in life, or something like a disease that you can catch, yeah? Or something that happens in your brain, as in goes wrong later on in life. That's not what it is. It's there from birth, okay? So you either have it, oh, pardon me again, oh, sorry, right? You either have it or you don't. It's as simple as that. And you just have to, and if you have a child who you think might have autism and they're only an infant, or ADHD or anything like that, you just gotta wait patiently, you know, keep an eye on their behaviors, keep an eye on their development, on how they interact with other children, how they interact with you, how they interact with the rest of the family, pets, everything, right? Keep an eye on that, and then just when you truly believe that there's a difference, yeah, then go through the proper process of getting diagnosed. I mean, if you ask me, the earlier a diagnosis, the more can be put in place, because school, when they go through school, it's gonna be difficult. If I'm honest, it can be very, very difficult if you have autism or ADHD going through school. It was for me, it was for my brothers. But the important thing is, don't focus on the fact that it'll be difficult. Focus on what you can do to help. Yeah? And so, luckily I had my mother and my father and so on and so forth, a big family actually. And because I have a brother close to my age and also two younger brothers, I had a sort of responsibility I felt to my younger brothers to try and be the role model. But also I had a brother I could relate to and lean on when things got particularly difficult. So, yeah, you just need to focus on what you can do to help. And at the end of the day, I've heard about parents who think the children have autism or ADHD, or are told that they do, and kind of react to it like it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, even if it's really severe and it's obvious in their behavior from day one. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, because their brain is still functioning. Yeah, they're still a person. And besides that, a lot of the time, people with autism develop very unique quirks, or unique, and I say quirk in a very positive way, by the way, or unique personality types or interests that can carry them really far, so long as they have the people around them to help support them and push them, and kind of just help filter out all the things that are unnecessary for them in terms of interacting with the world. So, yeah, so it's not the end of the world. It can be a good thing. It can be very, very positive. Again, there are, like I've said before, there are difficulties and there are challenges and there are issues, of course, but that's like part of everyday life for everyone. The difference is, if you have ADHD or autism, they're more recognizable. You've got some common ground also with some people. And to me, in a way, that can be a good thing as well, because it means there's already something in place to help you. You just gotta listen to the individual, though, because then the trick is finding what helps them best, what suits them best as a person. Anyway, so I think that's all I wanted to say on the matter. I hope that answered the comment, whoever sent it. And in my next video, I'm just going to make a start then properly on my schedule for autism. And if you like the content, you want to see more, like I said, follow, like, leave comments, questions, requests, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe again, repost, and I'll see you soon. Till then, bye.